Hi, I'm Steve Phillips from Salmo. We're out in a beautiful reservoir today. The weather's perfect, the fish are big and fat, and they are feeding hard. We've had a few already first thing this morning. I want to talk you through a few of the techniques that we use for crankbait fishing for perch on smaller lures. So let's get fishing. Okay, so this reservoir we've got today is fairly, on the surface at least, fairly devoid of features. It's basically a big bowl, and the end that we're fishing here is a pumping house with a structure. And having spoken to the guy who runs the fishing here, because it's primarily a trout fishery, this is the place to be. What we've got underneath us is a big, as the side slope down, we've got a big cutaway here with a pipe that goes out into the middle of the reservoir. And so there's big drop-offs either side of that, and this is where the perch live. So far we've had, I think it's 4 perch, each of them over 2 pounds, probably 2.5, all of them as well. First thing this morning they were on the shallow crankbait, so we were fishing with these new slick stick 6s. They don't get down very far, but the perch were up and they were hunting because of the low light levels. Now it's probably, what are we on? It's nearly 10 o'clock. The light's come up a little bit. It's still overcast, which is great for perch fishing, but I think the perch have gone a little bit further down. So what I've gone over to is a bullhead with a deeper diving vein, one of the real deep diving lures. To get down, I think they're going to be at the bottom. So we'll look at working the lures, how we work the lures when we're down there, the colour choices and stuff, and see if we can pull another one up. Okay, so anybody who fishes crankbaits will know, especially floating crankbaits, will know it's very difficult to fish them in depths of water. You've either got to crank them really, really hard and then they're going to float back up again, or you're only going to touch the surface, and if the fish are low down in the water, you're not going to get near them. So at Salmo we have some lures that are specifically designed to fish deeper. They are the SDR lures, and what they revolve around to get deeper is longer and wider bills, which gives you more resistance in the water, so they cut down and go down really quickly and go down deeper. So if I compare the bill on this one to say a standard rattling hornet 4.5, if you look at the difference there, there's a massive difference. So the body of the lure ends equally there, and you've probably got double the distance on the bill of this one, on this SDR. So what that does is it digs into the water. If you notice, the contact point there as well is quite a way away from the nose of the body of the lure, and that just digs into the water, and that resistance pushes it down very quickly and very deeply. The bullhead isn't the only SDR lure we do. We also do a hornet version. Now everyone knows the hornet, how good they are, so we do these SDR versions in the hornet 4s and 5s. So it's not the rattle, it's the foam bodied one, so there's no rattle internal chamber. If you don't know what SDRs are or were before, that's what they are, that's what they're designed to do. Get you into the deep water, get you down to the zone, get you to where the fish are, and catch you fish. So the way I work these, cast out, feather it down so you don't get caught up on your leader on the trebles, and then get the rod down and crank it. These things will get down real quick then. Right, and once I feel it's anywhere near the bottom, start working it back. What I like to do is give it a few cranks so it hits down. Ideally what I want is the lip of the lure to hit the bottom. It will puff up the silt, and then I'll just let it wind, stop, and then let it just float up a little bit. So that's how I would work the bullhead. And there are deeper divers within the Salmo range, but the bullhead is a great size for the perch. It's a nice, especially these 2.5 pounders that seem to be quite prevalent here. It's a nice mouthful for them. I just changed colour on the SDR bullhead, so I was on quite a bright colour and I went for a bit of a duller, more natural pattern, a natural bullhead pattern, and I just had a big perch, real big perch, just follow me up to the boat. Nothing I could do about it. It just came in, looked at the lure, and then just swerved away. I'm sure he probably saw my ugly face and moved off, but I'm going to stick with this for a bit, because if they're interested in it, something will have it sooner or later. Just doing that same technique, cranking it down, pausing, moving, pausing. So I'm hopeful to get another one. So I've been fishing the bullhead SDRs and I've been fishing them hard. I've had that one fish follow, so I know they're interested in the crankbaits. Effectively, I'm not getting it down to where the perch are, I don't think, for long enough to get the bite that I'm after. So what I've done is I've stepped it up a little bit and gone to another rig. Now this rig was shown to me by one of our Salmo guys out in Czech Republic. So basically what it is, it's a crankbait but with a paternostered weight off it. So at the end of my braid I have a very small high quality swivel, and then from that swivel, so I've got direct contact to the lure, I've got a length of leader that goes to a clip and goes to my lure. This one is the 3.5 Rattling Hornet, great little lure, but in this depth I wouldn't be able to get it anywhere near the bottom to where the perch are sitting. Right, now off the other end of the swivel, off the eye of the swivel on this end, I've got another length of leader, slightly smaller breaking strain than to my lure, and I use a weight. In this case I'm using a drop shot weight. So what you've got there is a weight that holds the lure down to the bottom, so it allows you to fish this crankbait, whatever that is. So that's probably around about 4 foot off the bottom, maybe 5 foot off the bottom. So straight away your lure is already near the bottom, held down by the weight. So I cast this out, hits the bottom, and I can feel that hit the bottom like on a soft plastic or drop shot, and then I slowly crank it back. So I'm not putting pauses in and stuff, I just slowly work it, and this lure then will work effectively against the weight at that depth. So I'm going to be fishing probably about, in the end, 3 foot with the action of this lure, 3 foot off the bottom. That's going to be just slightly over the perch's head, the way I figured that they're sitting, and that's perfect. To have this lure fishing at that depth of water is going to be killer, I'm hoping anyway. The other thing it does as well is allows me to cast. This is only, it's got a casting system in it, this lure, this 3.5 is the smallest lure on the market to do that, but even with this I can't get it that far. But with the weight on the end, it pings out miles, gets you right down there, keeps you in that sweet spot along the bottom, and it's a great rig for these conditions, for this depth of water, to fish small crankbaits with. There we go. Right, well I was just fishing the Rattling Hornet on the rig that I just showed you over the channel here. I got a good solid slam. There he is. And we've got a beautiful perch. I knew there'd be fish down there. It's just a case of getting it down to where they wanted it. So there it is, that's well and truly in the at that. Beautiful fish, bit raggedy, but great colours, great clear water colours. So you've seen I've been using the Rattling Hornet 3.5 for that rig, the twin leader rig. That's not the only lure you can use. Basically what that rig does is it opens up the possibilities to fish our shallower diving cranks in deeper water. Some of my favourites, obviously the Rattling Hornet 3.5. It's got that wonderful rattling there. It's got a real tight wiggle on it as well. Just high quality lures. Everybody knows how good the Hornet is. This is the rattling kind is even better for me because of the audio that it gives off underwater. Another one is the standard Hornet 3, so 3 centimeters. This one comes with just one treble at the back, making it even better for this rig, if I'm honest, because there's less likelihood of it tangling. But again, this has got a wonderful tight action. But again, look at that. Look at the bill on that. You would not get that anywhere near to the deck down here, but with this rig you can work it effectively down there. Another one exactly the same as that in terms of not being able to get down is the Minnow. This is the Minnow 5, but a very, very small bill on there. This is designed more for trout and streams and shallow rivers, but it's a deadly effective perch catcher. I've had loads of perch on these things, but getting it down allows you to fish where the perch are today. And here we have a brilliant new addition to the Salmo range for the smaller lures, the Slick Stick. This is a Slick Stick 6, not an easy thing to stay, but a brilliant thing to fish with. It's a very slender profile. It dives to about 1/2 metre cast in. You can troll it a little bit deeper, but we're not trolling on here today. Again, it's got a very slim, small bill, so it doesn't dive, very far. So again, you've only got that 1/2 metre. You won't be able to fish it at the depth we're looking at today. But this is amazing. It's the first time I've actually fished with it today, and I had 5 casts first thing this morning before we started filming, and I had 3 perch over 2.5 pounds each. 1 in the first cast. My cameraman Sam today, he couldn't believe it. He didn't have time to get his camera out to get them all. Luckily we've had more later on, but yeah, it was an incredible lure, really high quality. But again, for this rig, perfect candidate. That's perch candy, that is. Yeah. Right, so a few hours on without anything, and I was getting some little taps. I've got something on. That's the net. Let's wrap around that a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this one I swapped over to the new Slick Stick 6. And he's had that, or she. Oh, caught up in the net. That's the trouble with having lots of trebles kicking about. But anyway, there she is. Let's get this out. Ow. Just in the bottom. Another chunky monkey. Look at that. These are gnarly perch here. They look well worn. I think that'll be a lovely end to a very good day's fishing over at Toff Newton Reservoir. I've had a great time. Hopefully you've learnt a bit on how to fish salmos in deeper water. So if you learnt anything, give it a go yourself. And tight lines. I'm going to get her back now.